Hey guys, Desolator Magic here, and today is one giant fragmented mess of information, as everybody assumed it would be. They're announcing things that I didn't even think they'd announce. I think they announced the whole next year worth of stuff and whatever, so I thought, let's just put it all in one place. That's why you guys subscribe to this channel anyway. And let me just stop you right now. If you're about to say sometime in this video, Des, why didn't you just watch the live stream? Why don't you just go watch it right now? I would rather staple gun my balls to a porcupine. To have a bunch of just people who continuously ruin the game and then pat themselves on the back for it, sit there and pretend that there's nothing wrong with standard in the state of anything right now, as they do greedy shit like undercut and completely cut out local gaming stores by selling bullshit like Secret Lair, comes with a smile on their face, tell me, here, you should get excited about this, it's going to be so valuable, and then secretly add in, oh, by the way, this is a print-to-demand set, so you should never buy it, don't touch it, nothing in here will be worth money, it's all going to crash down to, $110 a box. I'm not going to do that. So I'm going to go with their article for the other 99% of their customer base that they know damn well did not show up to the stupid frickin' Twitch live stream or whatever the hell it was, where they ban everybody from the chat anyway and it's members only. And even then, even with from paying customers, they still get trolled to oblivion and back. No, I'll stay far away from that, thanks. But yeah, that's the most important takeaway from this video. I already mentioned it. They said it multiple times. Zendikar Rising is a print-to-demand set, which means that everything is going to get devalued to hell and back. I know the damn expeditions, by the way, there's expeditions in the set, are going to be so expensive they got to bottom out at some point. But remember what happened every other time they printed them. They pre-ordered at a ridiculous price, absolutely crashed to half that, hovered there, and then slowly, month after month, went up a couple percent. And then they got ridiculous. I mean, look at some of the masterpieces and stuff. The artifact ones from Kaldheim, they're up in the, 2,500. They're absurd. And people thought, oh, there's no demand for some of these. They've pretty much gone up across the board. So they're a good item to sit on, but let me put it this way. It's print to demand. If you open them in the first week, sell them and buy them again later in 2 months. Trust me. Anything you get of value from the set in the first weeks to month, sell it like it's on fire. Get rid of it like it is actively causing damage to you. That's what print to demand means, okay? It means it is guaranteed to hit an EV of 110, 120, and then people will stop opening it. And they will print it until it hits that point. Even if 4 weeks after release it looks like it's good, it won't be. Now, see, this sounds like really bad news, like I'm warning people and, oh, this is terrible. No, this is great news. It means you can afford everything from the set. It's wonderful for the players. Print to demand just means we're going to print it until the game is affordable, guaranteed. No matter how good a certain mythic is, people are going to open the set for the expeditions. It should be responsible for 18 to 30% of the value of the set because historically it has been. And that means, well, what's left when, they keep printing the box average expected return value down to the, just over 100 range? What happens to the rest of the rares and mythics and the normal cards in the set? And now we got the collector's booster and this bullshit called the set boosters on top of it. It might as well be free. So the good news for you is don't pre-order the singles if you're going to play paper. Just wait a little bit because these are going to crash so hard it will be comical to look at the prices. And anything of value you get at the pre-release or open early, sell it as quickly as humanly possible. I don't care if you got to give it to your store for store credit. Just get rid of that toxic asset because it is guaranteed to go down. Number one takeaway here. By the way, all 10 Fetchlands are in the expeditions. So let's take a break from stuff that they told us to move on to stuff that they don't want you to know. There was a leak that was briefly online from a throwaway account, which I kind of think is hilarious. Let's just cut the bullshit. It was one of their level 3 judge early play testers, one of the volunteers or whatever, contractors, I don't know, they're probably not paid, who get the cards early and then leak them online because they have no respect for Wizards as a company or as people. So one of the judges that they purposely sent the cards to ahead of time, although probably blank, playtest, white and black versions, they posted on Reddit that, there's going to be Lotus Cobra, it's going to have art from Sam Rowan, and it's going to have collector's number 193. So they had even more advanced information. So I think we can probably take what they're saying as not a stab in the dark since, that happened. I mean, this isn't I think they might print a pretty good angel in the set. This is a leak, everybody, and not a total guess. He's here's the number. He's giving you the lotto numbers. At that point, believe the person. So this set is going to have an amazing high-powered legendary demon, so that sucks. What's worse is it's going to have Shadowborn Apostle, the one where it says you can have as many of these as you want in your deck and then sack like, 4, 5, 6 of them, whatever, and then go auto-fetch and free cast a demon. If that deck takes off, I am going to be pissed. It's the same as that stupid Rats deck we had to put up with forever. And everybody just trolled Singleton because they're like, oh, it overrides the Singleton rules and I'm running all Rats. Ha 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 ha. Yeah, it's very funny. Very, very funny joke Wizards played on all this. Anyway, we kind of needed a reprint of those, but it's such a dumb gimmicky deck, and people who run it in Commander need 50 of them or something. So the cards hit 5 a piece because they were last printed an eternity ago. So they just straight up injected a money reprint into the set, where people are going to want just limitless quantities of this no matter what rarity they put it at. Well, that's odd considering it has Fetchland Expeditions in it, and full art lands. So let's talk about those. Last time BFZ, I don't know, I think online at one point you get 50 cents a piece for them. Cool. I used to sell them in, I think, full sets of 1 of each, and then I did 3 of each. I think I sold 10 of each, and then stacks of 20 of each. I had so damn many of them. I opened about 10 grand worth of BFZ. And then when they repeated them for OGW, I just sat on them. So I'm still holding on to several thousand of those full art lands from, I guess we'll say BFZ, but the Zendikar block. The second one, it's all confusing. And they still haven't gone up from 27 cents a piece in the last, 5 years? So if you're thinking about snatching them up and investing in them, don't. That's not a good idea at all. And if you're going to pick some up just to play with, don't overpay for them. I would not pay above a quarter a piece locally. In fact, I don't even think I would pay a quarter a piece locally. And this being print to demand, oh my gosh. And also do note this time around, it isn't like last time where you can buy a Fat Pack and get 80 of them. That's just not how Fat Packs work anymore. We might have a little bit of a lore answer finally. It very well might have been in the live stream too that I didn't watch and refused to. So if you suffered through that, what is wrong with you? But they did hint that all of the parties are getting together and going on these expeditions, and we're like, what for? What are they trying to do? Find something? Fix something? They have referenced in one sentence that they are searching for some kind of treasure. So is it one treasure? Is it treasure in general? Did they the Eldrazi accidentally start a mining operation by uplifting and screwing with the land itself? And now they're like, oh, free digging. Oh, look, they uncovered a gold mine. Cool, let's go find it. Maybe that's it. Or maybe they're looking for something to help fix something, like a legendary artifact or something. I want to know how the legendary, brand new, never before seen allegedly demon comes into all this. That'll be interesting. But there is one more thing in the leak that I forgot to mention. Allegedly, I don't remember if this is in the spoilers or not, so I'll read this one first, actually. There's going to be a 2/2 flyer for 3, and it gets a 1/1 counter whenever a non-token creature dies. And then if it was a cleric, you draw a card and lose a life. I don't think we've seen that yet. Pardon me if we have. I don't know. I'm too lazy to check. I'm so disinterested in the set and Wizards and Magic. Oh, sorry, am I not towing the line and hyping this up? I'm so excited. Oh boy, Expeditions and Fetches are back. Woo! Nobody's even playing paper and all play is suspended, so. And the 2021 Q on Arena needs 8 urgent bans right now to even vaguely be fair or playable, and they printed a bunch of mill horse shit in the set, so no, I'm not excited about this, in case you couldn't catch that. Also, we've got some confusing contradictory information here. There is a card called Avenger of Zendikar. It's 7 cost mono green, and I'm being told that there's going to be something called exactly Avenger of Zendikar, but you can't have 2 cards with the same name that do different things. And so this leaker said it's, quote, unlikely to be reprinted due to its power. Yeah, it better not. Wait till you hear this bullshit. But also, it can't be called Avenger of Zendikar, and he said it is called Avenger of Zendikar. So, 6 mana, red-green. Remember, the old one was 7, and it was a 5/5. This will be a 5/5 legendary elemental that makes a plant token for each basic land that you control when it enters the battlefield. So that'll be fun to flicker with blue, won't it? But, this is garbage 0/1 plant, whatever, but then it'll have landfall add 4 1/1 counters to a plant. The existing Avenger of Zendikar, which by the way was just in Double Masters, has landfall put 1 counter on each plant. So this one will be put 4 counters on 1 plant, but I don't know, that's crazy. You can't do that. You can't just +4 something every time a land enters play and then flicker it to get more plants. That's ridiculous. That better not be in the set. The set looks pretty fair and balanced and appropriately powered right now as of today's spoilers. So a lot doesn't add up about that, except the person, every single other thing they said was correct. So other big news, they said Zendikar Rising will have a booster topper, like an extra 37th pack or whatever in every booster box, I guess. Except that's not what they said. They just said the set will have them. So did they mean the collector's booster, or the set booster, or all three, or 2 out of the 3, or 3 out of the 3? Well, they weren't terrifically clear, but I'll just read what they wrote. They say, next up, we revealed some of the expeditions that we found in both Collector's Booster and as box toppers. That's another thing. The box topper can be an expedition. Doesn't mean it will be, but it can be. It can be in that slot in that pack. But by can be, they might have meant will be in that, like, every box will have one. But on average, every other booster box had one as far as in the normal packs the last time we had BFZ. So if they're right in there, it's a guaranteed include. I hate when they make vague statements like this. That will heavily devalue these because they'll be printed at double the rate they were last time. Ouch. So I'm going to cover the secret layers and all the other, next year's set names and all this other crap in a different video. But Fetchlands, what's up with Fetchlands? Remember, they said, let's talk about things that they said. Like, for example, Fetchlands will not be in Zendikar Rising. We are not reprinting them in a standard set. They said that, and here they are. Oh, they're not technically in the set, they're in the product because they're not standard legal, but they're expeditions. I don't give a shit, Wizards. You said they're not going to be in this set. I took that to mean product. That's why when they make a vague statement, you can't really take them on their word. It's got to be open to interpretation. And plus, when they said, yeah, you could open 2 mythics and then put you could open 2 mythics right on the VIP pack from last time, and then it turns out that was a lie. And then it turns out that was also a lie, and it could happen because of an accident at the printing facility. It was like a 7-layer cake of lies. So anything they say, don't take it at face value. In fact, I would just be skeptical of it right on its face. Wizards has a long history of lying to us, and it goes back to at least BFZ, which ironically is basically this. So they re-announced the shoes. I'm sure we weren't even supposed to know about that till today, but it's going to be on Hasbro Pulse, 300 of them going out, 300 pairs, that's all that's being made. They're going to be 100 piece, and they're K-Swiss, so they're crap. And I'm hearing rumors that they're made by child laborers, so that's cool. So the article that Wizards wrote about this is the most contradictory, confusing, convoluted, vague bullshit I've seen in my entire life. So try and stick with me on what we know about this, which is nothing. Back when Secret Lair Fetchland Edition was a thing, when they announced it, they said, this is the year of Fetch, we're going to make Fetch happen, and then they later renamed it to the year of Commander for some reason, but I call it the year from hell, so you can just name it whatever you want. You can name it multiple things. Who cares? But back when they announced it, they said that we are going to get Fetchlands in some product in 2020, but that it won't be in standard. So they already lied. It's the expeditions. So great, but we're running out of time. So everybody assumed it was going to be in Commander Legends. Well, they have one sentence explaining this. They say, then we'll be suiting up for Modern Horizons 2. And as alluded to before, this print-to-demand set, which is the phrase that equals don't buy it, it's worthless, will feature all 5 enemy Fetchlands. And then they say, in draft boosters. I mean, I guess, when you think draft boosters, you think standard product. But, I mean, I guess if you put the right number in there and don't screw with it and don't make it a 20-card booster, I guess you could call it a draft booster. And Modern Horizons 2 or any other set, it could be Conspiracy 3 or whatever, I guess you could call it a draft booster. I don't know. I didn't like the name in the first place, but I do find that very just odd. And they say they will be at rare. Okay. But remember, they said enemy color combinations, which means we're getting 5 out of 10 of the Fetchlands. And they're in Modern Horizons 2, which I think is the first we're hearing about this. And it's in the section about 2021's stuff. And they said we'll have the Fetchlands printed in 2020. So they're strongly implying that it might be the ally colors Fetchlands, 5 of them, in Commander Masters. Or Commander Legends. It should have been called Commander Masters, but anyway. So what's Commander Legends? Well, as far as we know, it's one of the 2 products coming out before the end of the year. There only are 2. I guess the Secret Lair is, being different. Excluding those, as far as real product releases, yeah, that's it. But I don't know, they could cram all kinds of bullshit into 4 months, and they're losing money left and right this year, so who knows? So I even Googled Modern Horizons 2, because I'm like, am I just, losing it? Did I have a stroke, or is this the first we heard about this? And according to Google, the very first result is a thread from January 2020 on Reddit titled The Looming Threat of Modern Horizons 2. Because if you weren't there for the first one, it went so terrifically well. But I did finally track down, it is coming out in Q3 of 2021. So we're about 10, 11, maybe 12 months away from it. I guess potentially 13 or 14 months away from it. So that isn't the Fetchland product that they were talking about, just like I suspected. So they still owe us some product with fetches in it that isn't a standard product and isn't Zendikar Rising, because they said those two things. Not Zendikar Rising, not standard. And like I said, here it is. Here they are, all 10 of them. Okay, great. It's at a rarity that I wouldn't even consider a reprint. Estimates put the total printed volume of these at like somewhere between like 3 and 15,000, which is like nothing. That's like none. That's basically zero. And I mean at a per card level. So like how many more Windswept Heaths are going to hit the market according to them being in the expeditions as a 1 out of 30? And the answer is a couple thousand, and a couple thousand of anything is not enough to go around. And also they're going to be at a mad collector's price. And that's why nobody really considers this a true reprint, but they owe us because they said a true reprint. So it virtually has to be at least the 5 ally ones logically in Commander Legends. It has to be there. So Commander Legends should have been called Commander Horizons because it's a Horizon set. It's 50% new cards for Commander and 50% not new cards, reprints. That's literally what Modern Horizons was for Modern, so why not name it consistently? And the answer is because the name Horizons gives people PTSD because it was such a shit set that destroyed Modern with all of its broken garbage like Hogak that they had to later, walk back and ban. So they buried the name. Oh, and then by the way, in 2021, we're going to have Modern Horizons 2. It's back, bitches. And then they made such a, like they're trying to bury it themselves. Like they put it on one graph and mentioned it in one paragraph. That's it. I'm not sure if they were like, whoa, big announcement, ooh, countdown, big reveal, whoa, on the live stream. But my God, online, they're just like, and this is the thing we're doing in 2020. Next sentence. Like they almost referenced it in passing like we're already supposed to know about it. That's why I was deeply, deeply confused. So everybody's been wondering where the hell are our damn Fetchlands we're running out of 2020 when they said they're in 2020? They have to be in Commander Legends. They have to. Unless they're going to sneak something else in. So that's the status of that. Very, very, very important because we got to know the timing and all these things now that we know of 2 more reprintings of the Fetchlands. If you didn't catch it last month or the month before when I told you this, sell them. If you have them, sell them. They are never going to be this price ever again in the history of Magic. Aren't Polluted Deltas like $100, like $80? Sell them. What the hell are you waiting for? You know what? I don't want to make a new video on this. It'd be such a small video. I already talked about it at this point. All right. So first in 2021, we've got Kaldheim, which sounds very Norwegian. Everybody's been waiting for a Norwegian set, and they went full Frozen on the art. So I think we can say it's basically Norway. Norse mythology on the cards. I'm all about that shit. This is going to be epic. Then we've got Strixhaven, School of Mages, which I'm sure is some kind of super, 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 super late to the party Harry Potter ripoff. I mean, then again, didn't Tolarian Academy blow up and it's at the bottom of an ocean? I should specify, the last time that it blew up, I think it blew up multiple times. Sure, open another one. Open Strixhaven, aka Hogwarts. So that'll be interesting. I mean, the lore and the theming of these sound great, and I'm literally going off of nothing but like the font and the name and the subtitle. But I mean, it's better than let's go back to this plane again. And at least it's not Kamigawa. I could do without that, honestly. So they refer to Strixhaven as the most elite university in the multiverse. Oh, they should reprint, what is that, Problem Student or whatever that card was. It's deeply, deeply offensive. A picture of Teferi, and I can't even get into it or YouTube will censor this. Oh, I missed a line. It literally says, Kaldheim, a world inspired by Vikings. Okay, well, there you go, as if you didn't know that. And anything ending in Heim, I mean, come on. I mean, us, the Dakotas and Minnesota and Wisconsin, we know our Norwegians and we know our Germans, okay? That's a thing here, okay? We had a protest that turned into a car show that people mistook for a tailgate and turned into a brat fry. I'm not kidding. That happened a couple months ago. And then all the BLM people just left because it turned into a really, really big tailgate cook-off / car show. Yes, it was in direct violation of COVID-19 lockdowns, but the cops couldn't arrest, that many people. It was just people walking around and parking and driving. It wasn't a car show. I don't see a car show, even though you see the car show. So what would happen in a world inspired by Vikings? Car shows and bratwurst. I just realized one of the people I was there with, their last name was Holmstrom. I mean, that's like Norwegian and change right there. Also, we got something very unexpected, although we've seen hints at this, and this might be the first shot to see something I've been asking for forever. They say then, in the most exciting mix since Peanut Butter and Jelly, Adventures in the Forgotten Realms is the first Dungeons & Dragons themed magic set. Oh yes, and it's releasing in the place of what would be a core set. I'm more excited about that. Core sets are AIDS. They canceled them again. Hey guys, remember when they banned Field of the Dead and then brought it back and then banned it again? Hey guys, remember when they made masterpieces and then canceled them and then brought them back again because they're really good money? Hey guys, remember when they canceled core sets and then brought them back again and then canceled them again because they're still shit that nobody wants and nobody buys? Hey guys, remember when they had this thing called master sets that were reprint sets and then everybody needed reprints and were like, yay, and it made them tons of money, like just barrels of money? And then they made 2 bad ones and took their ball and ran home crying because people don't like us. And then they canceled them and then they brought them back? Wizards is a bunch of waffling dumb. That's why they're usually referred to as waffles of the toast. You thought it was just a funny, silly breakfast reference. No, it's because they constantly waffle on everything, which means change your mind and go back and forth. Well, it's not even going back and forth. It's they make idiotic changes, and then they're like, oh, we f***ed up, and then they roll them back. So it's not indecisiveness, it's just nobody tells them no enough times before they do something really, really epically stupid. Then the community on day 1 tells them how epically stupid it is, and then 2 years later they roll back the decision. So they have a long history of doing that, so core sets out again. They didn't say core sets are canceled raw, because then they'd have to admit that they were wrong and that nobody wanted these stupid bullshit sets. And when they brought them back, that was the best thing ever, when they were like, oh, but it'll be different this time. And then it's literally just simplified stuff for new players and half reprints. It was the exact same thing. They said, we redesigned them from the ground up, and there was literally not one thing different about the core sets than core sets in the past at all. Oh, other than commander grade irrelevant, like hyper-specific reprints added in. So they kind of made it a master set. And then realized it still sold like shit, had no value, everybody hated it, and they got rid of it again. So now we've got Dungeons & Dragons Adventures in the Forgotten Realms in its place, so a D&D themed set. If you guys don't put a beholder on a card, I'm going to lose my shit. I'm telling you right now, you've got time. Put a beholder on a card. I have wanted it since I started playing in 2013. I just wanted a damn beholder on a card. And I asked my friend, I said, it's the same company, right? It's Wizards of the Coast. There's not 2 Wizards of the Coast. Hasbro owns both of the IPs, right? They even work in the same building, correct? Yes. Why the hell aren't D&D things on cards? And they finally answered it. Mark answered it actually himself. He said, those 2 departments just don't work together much. And they're very, they guard their intellectual property very carefully and are careful who they license it out to. I don't know if that was purely a result of the Dungeons & Dragons movie, but after that adventure that movie was, they're very cautious who they license their rights to. Although I will say Neverwinter was like the shit, and Dungeons & Dragons Online was amazing. Best MMO I've ever played. So they've been trying to open it up more. We knew about this on the Magic the Gathering side. They said, we're going to license it to more things. And they're like, Netflix, shoes, a water park. I'm not kidding. That's a thing. I think it's technically a Hasbro park, but they said Magic the Gathering will be featured heavily. So I'm like, well, why don't you, instead of leasing out your intellectual property and copyrighted characters to people you may or may not trust, just because you had a home run with Puzzle Quest and a couple other things, why not, instead of trusting a third party, you make a Dungeons & Dragons themed magic set and throw some magic stuff into Dungeons & Dragons? And they did both. They've had MTG supplemental books or whatever, expansion books, whatever they call it. They did one for Theros and they did one for Ravnica, at least. Hopefully I'm not missing one there. I'm not sure the Theros one is actually released yet. So personally, my conclusion was that the D&D people didn't trust the Magic the Gathering staff, even though they work at the same company together. And, maybe I phrased that wrong. Because they work at the same company together. Every time you're meeting at lunch, you're like, hey, how's Magic the Gathering doing? Ooh, you've been destroying the game since RTR. Okay, well, whoopsies. Oh, your head of your judge program said we literally do not want more white males in the program. Ooh, that's probably not even legal. Ooh, maybe we won't let you put a beholder on a card. It's just they probably work cubicles over and they're just watching the train wreck and they're like, we don't really want to license you any of our stuff, even though it wouldn't be a license because we're all the same company. But now they're doing it. 2021, they're doing it. So, I think it's good news. I think it's overdue that they do this. It's the most logical crossover. I'm shocked that it took them 26 years. There's no reason for it. To have taken this long, I should say. So that will be a standard legal product. And I think we're going to see all kinds of just classic cliche stuff. And remember, the first set to go into the next rotation is going to be Zendikar Rising, and they care about the whole cleric, rogue, warrior, wizard thing. And obviously that'll be heavily featured in Dungeons and Dragons. So I think if it doesn't land immediately this time, we'll get almost double the reinforcements to that whole party system when that drops, which will be, let's see, third quarter 2021. And so once again, it will be called the Forgotten Realms set. Technically, it's Dungeons and Dragons, and then subtitle Adventures in the subtitle Forgotten Realms or whatever. It's everyone's going to call it Forgotten Realms. But yes, beholders aren't native to the Forgotten Realms. Shut up! They're all from Zoriat. Who cares? They can travel. Shut up. By the way, I just noticed the symbol for Strixhaven is a Strix, but it looks an awful lot like an owl. Oh, it's a mythological creature that doesn't actually exist, but it's commonly considered to be an owl. I think that or other birds in Greek mythology. Whatever. Cut the shit. It's a Hogwarts owl. Okay, it's Hedwig. So what are they doing in quarter 4 of 2021? Well, we've got Innistrad werewolves and Innistrad vampires. Why did you stack two things on top of each other, wizards? Unless I missed something, I read every article and looked at everything except for that god-awful live stream that I'm never going to watch my entire life. I don't know why there are two standard sets. Will it be like Pokemon like blue and red? Will they be like slightly different? Are they splitting the thing in half? That won't be good for stores. Anytime they do that, it's like either werewolves or vampires will be stuck on the shelf. Just anytime you fragment anything. The 5 commander decks, which they should have left at 4, but they waffled on that too. Now we're back to 5 commander decks, so that guaranteed 2 of them are stuck on the shelf. So if they print them evenly and people don't buy them evenly, because why the hell would they? That's bad for stores. So I don't know. I guess they're doing 2 things and we don't know anything about it. So cool. Oh, not to bury the lead here. We're going back to Innistrad. Yay. Hopefully they re-unleashed Emrakul. I mean, werewolves, the moon? Even that sounds like a stretch, but she's sitting up there. She's right there in the damn moon. You can't just, like, not talk about her. You can't just straight-faced, tongue-in-cheek your whole way through the whole damn set and not mention that there's a giant Eldrazi Titan sitting in the moon on the plane that we're returning to. Emrakul coming back confirmed. I'm calling it right now. I think that's the second time in this video, but still. So, side products, we're going to have Time Spiral Remastered. Who the hell asked for this? Who wanted this? Why? What the f*** is this? Why did anybody approve this bullshit instead of Conspiracy 3? Anyway, we'll get back to that. Then Modern Horizons 2. So Time Spiral is going to be early 2021, sometime between quarter 1 and quarter 2. And then Modern Horizons 2 is going to be between quarter 3 and quarter 4, also known as during quarter 3. So what is this Time Spiral nonsense? Well, they're saying it's a new way to experience Time Spiral and will feature fan favorites from the beloved set. Oh, that's a reach. As well as cards printed with the old border. Time Spiral looked pretty like shit. That's getting pretty close to when the artwork did not look anywhere near as good as it does in modern times. The old fonts, the old colors were shit, and they changed them for a reason, so I don't know why there's like, ooh, nostalgia blast. I've never heard anybody say Time Spiral was amazing and I loved it. I think I've actually only exclusively heard the opposite. Why couldn't we just get Battle Bond 2 or Conspiracy 3? I mean, how hard would it be? Like, a glorified reprint of a standard set is what they went with for 2021. Really. And they're bringing back that purple rarity time-shifted horse shit. Can't wait for that. That'll be fun. At least we'll get to see Dan again, which I have been told is not how you pronounce it, but nobody's been able to explain how you pronounce it. So they're like, for all of us longtime fans, here are some examples. And they just show Chalice of the Void, Path to Exile, and Relentless Rats, all with the original frame and the purple rarity. Oh boy, who cares? And that's all we know about it. So what a garbage reprint set. It's specific to one, I guess, block, would it be? I didn't play during Time Spiral, but everything was in blocks back then, so I assume they're just reprinting selective cards from the block and basically doing a master set, but a really shitty limited master set. I don't know. This is really dumb. Well, then Modern Horizons 2, that's a disastrous idea. Don't do it again. You Wizards of the Coast trying to micromanage literally anything. Anything. Like Pauper, you can't manage it correctly. Modern, you can't micromanage it correctly. Standard, you can't manage correctly. And by manage, I mean add cards to it that are play tested and power appropriate. You screwed up Standard so badly you had to ban Oko in, like, what, Vintage or something? What the f***? It's hard to screw up that bad, and that's why when they're like, we're going to take a couple cards, brand new cards, and inject them into Modern, and we're going to power up some of the existing Tier 1 decks. What could go wrong? Oh, they're overpowered because they're already Tier 1. Everybody hates Dredge as a mechanic, and they hate Dredge players and decks. They hate everything about Dredge. They don't even want to hear the word Dredge. So what we should do is support Dredge in this new Modern Horizons 1. Oh shit, everybody wants it banned? Let's ban the wrong card. Oh, it's still a problem? Okay, let's actually ban Hogak. That's literally what happened in Modern Horizons 1, in case you missed that drama. It was the biggest kick in the balls to modern players I've ever seen since they refused to reprint Fetchlands for 3 years. I honestly don't know why the staff at Wizards of the Coast hates modern players so much that they keep screwing with them this bad, but it's going to continue into 2021 with Modern Horizons 2, so that'll be fun. And, I'll talk about the secret layers in a separate video because this one's getting too long. So that's everything you need to know about Zendikar, all the announcements, the upcoming sets, everything. Just absolutely everything you need to know. Important information, I guess. Ironically, we're still missing a lot of important information. Like I would love for them to confirm, because what they said is so stupidly vague, which products have box topper packs in them. You now have 3 major box products. Which of the 3 come with box toppers? All you said was Zendikar Rising has box toppers. Oh, there's one thing that I didn't mention. You actually can't open the expeditions in the normal draft boosters. Gee, did I not mention that up until now? I mean, you read the sentence and you tell me what it says. Next up, we revealed some of the expeditions that can be found in both Collector's Booster and as box toppers. Expeditions can be found in both, as in not both and then some, Collector's Boosters and as box toppers. Missing the phrase "and in draft boosters." So no matter how many boosters you open, you will not open an expedition. So they want you to buy it a box at a time, because I'm guessing that there's a 100% chance at a expedition in the box topper. But like I said, last time around BFZ, you got about 1 every, I think, 2 to 3 boxes. It was like some fraction between it. So if you open the regular boosters, you still were going to get less than 1 per box. So if they make an automatic 1 per box, cool, unless you're buying loose packs or getting prize packs at F&M. And the big thing about prize packs at F&M was that you could open an expedition and be like, oh, look, a $100 card, $150 card. Whoa, and I only paid $5 to enter F&M. Oh my God. And all the little kids would be like, oh my God, you can get like a $200 card from this. What? And they go spend their lunch money on it, because Wizards likes promoting gambling to children. Well, that's all gone to shit now. Now, if you want to open one from a regular booster, it's going to be in the Collector's Booster, probably at a shit low density. And then a box topper, which they haven't confirmed are even in the normal booster boxes. It would be insane if they didn't do that. But are the box toppers also in the Collector's Booster? And then we've got a new thing called a set booster. Is that going to have a box topper? If I were them, I'd put it in all 3, unless they want them to fail miserably. So that's still a mystery, and I want that cleared up. That's the number one thing. So I really wanted to point that out. So don't forget to leave all the information that I missed down in the comments section. I'm sure I missed something, because this is a scattered mess, as is the norm with everything Wizards does. But thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next video.